When you've got a big job to do, you call in the National Guard. And that's exactly what the Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics did recently when they wanted to get a grip on a growing problem: illegal marijuana grow farms. Steve Shaw has the story. Steve.
Rich, in an effort to dismantle criminal organizations that have been lurking within the state's medical marijuana program, the OBN called in the National Guard to seize and destroy more than 79,000 pot plants and more than 3,000 pounds of processed marijuana.
For 2 weeks, starting in late September, the Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics executed search warrants on 10 suspected illegal grow farms. In these 8 counties, Canadian, Cleveland, Garvin, Kay, Ofuskie, Payne, Pontotoc, and Seminole counties. It capped 2 years of intelligence gathering.
We don't know what we don't know. There's right now about 8,500 licensed marijuana growers in the state of Oklahoma. We would estimate, just judging by our investigations, that potentially 25 to 30% of those 8,500 grows are on the surface legitimate and hiding what they're doing, but behind the scenes are 100% criminal, moving marijuana to the black markets.
Woodward says that means there's about 3,000 illegal grow farms in the state. Woodward says in some cases, black market marijuana is produced here for as little as $100 a pound. Then it sells on the streets on the east or west coast for as much as $4,000 a pound. That's right, a tidy $3,900 profit per pound.
It is like holding back the ocean with a broom.
Woodward says last month's operation was done with the help of 30 National Guard volunteers. It was a very big operation that also included sheriff's offices, drug task force personnel, county commissioners, and even county workers.
It's like an army that we send out there, because oftentimes you're talking about several dozen acres. You could be talking about as many as 200 different structures that have to be cleared. Any one of them could have a threat in there. It's not like just, hey, this is a meth house, we're going to go through the front door and we'll have a backdoor team and we secure this house. Imagine doing that at 200 potential grow houses and trailers that you have to do just on one farm. It'll be burned in a pit. And so it is a safe way to get rid of it. It's just destroying weeds. Essentially, that's what marijuana is. At the end of the day, it is a weed. And so it's destroyed in a pit at a county facility.
I came from the infantry brigade, the 45th down in Norman.
Colonel Shane Riley directs domestic operations for military support for the Oklahoma National Guard Regional Training Center in Oklahoma City, and he coordinated the mission last month, which was the second time this year the Guard helped the OBN to do this.
So we pulled some skid steers, some dump trucks, and then a lot of soldiers that could get in and out of those tight spaces and rapidly grab and eradicate the illegal and black market marijuana that we were seizing.
Guard volunteers don't carry guns or make arrests. OBN agents and law enforcement personnel handle that before the Guard gets there.
Did you see anything you didn't think you'd see?
I did, because these are black market and illegal or unregistered grow sites. There's not a lot of oversight there. It's a criminal activity in a lot of cases. And the cleanliness, there's no FDA oversight. The EPA would probably not like what they find when they go on these sites. And I was really surprised by just the destruction of the property of the land that you could see that they're very obviously coming in to make a bunch of money, strip the site down, grow a bunch of black market marijuana.
Some of these are absolutely deplorable conditions. Again, on the surface, they get their license, they get their fence up, they look like the poster child for doing it right, but once you start inspecting that property, you do see workers living in deplorable conditions. You'll have 16 men living in a trailer with no running water, no electricity. And so what's sad is we can't really file human trafficking against those people for labor trafficking because these people won't complain. You and I may see it as deplorable, but they say, look, you want to see something deplorable, you should see how our family has to live back in China.
Woodward says black market operators leave grow sites in toxic ruin.
And it's running into runoff. We have found dead animals that were drinking, just seen the previous day drinking water coming off of the runoff from some of those grow houses. So we know how dangerous it is for animals, and you can imagine that going into the water tables and the creeks that are being shared by potentially dozens of farmers and neighbors throughout that county.
A lot of foreign agents. My own experience over the years with doing counterterrorism, overseas, I would say that this is very much probably tied back to overseas criminal activities that are in some way going to be bad for America or bad for Oklahoma in the long run. There's prostitution, there's human trafficking, there's drug trafficking that all goes on behind the scenes, and not just marijuana, but this feeds into other things. So this becomes a larger scale problem over time.
Mark, did I hear you say there are legitimate attorneys in Oklahoma who are involved in this criminal enterprise?
Yeah, absolutely. We've had 2 different law firms that were now tied to some of these fraudulent business structures that allowed these criminal groups to get a license in our state. And grand juries have already returned indictments against them.
Mark Woodward says so far 20 people have been arrested since those 10 seizures a month ago. 16 guns were also confiscated. Just this past Monday, the OBN made a bust in Garfield County.